Hey guys, I'm just going to talk really quickly about how to choose which aura you should use, or mantra, I should say, on your monk in Diablo 3. So first I'm just going to go over the mantras really quickly. Not many people at this point use Retribution. It's really Evasion, which gives you more dodge, Healing, which gives you passive life per second regeneration, and Conviction, which makes enemies take additional damage. So basically, which mantra you use should be determined by whether or not you need more survivability or you need more damage. If you're struggling to survive, then you should choose a mantra that makes you survive more. And if you already have surviving down pat and you want to kill things faster, choose one that gives you more damage. So I'm going to start with what makes you survive better. The two mantras that are used most often for survivability are Mantra of Evasion Hard Target, which gives you an armor bonus as well as the dodge, and Mantra of Healing, which one? Time of Need, which gives you resistance bonus and passive life regeneration. Now, how to choose between the two. Um, First of all, let's talk about Evasion versus Mantra of Healing. The passive life per second regeneration from Mantra of Healing isn't really that great of a bonus. 310 life per second might seem like a lot, but it's really not that much compared to any other healing type. You know, if you have like 100 life on hit, you might get 300 a second because you attack multiple times a second. So having that much life per second, it's really not going to help you that much. Whereas having 15% more dodge is like 15% more damage reduction. That's a huge bonus right there. So I already would favor Mantra of Evasion. Now, let's talk about Time of Need versus Hard Target, right? So it's 20% resistances versus 20% armor bonus. It might seem like it's the same, but it's not. What's going to matter is what you already have more of. Do you already have more resistances, or do you already have more armor? So, like, for example, let's look at me. I've got 5,980 armor, which is 66% damage reduction, and I've got 800 some resists, 74% damage reduction. Now, most monks are going to have more resists than they do armor because we have one with everything, and almost all of us use it. So, just like me, you know, I've got 8% ish more damage reduction from resists than from armor. So it's going to go further. The damage reduction I get from the mantra is going to go further if I choose to get the armor bonus as opposed to the resists because I already have more resists. So the 20% is going to do more for me if I choose armor. And you know, if you doubt my math on this or anything, Google it. Trust me, it works this way. That's how it works. You can find some calculations to prove it, I'm sure. So the armor bonus is better, and in my opinion, the evasion bonus is better than the healing. So, in my opinion, hard target is a much better choice than time of need for both reasons. So if you want survivability, that's probably your best option. Mantra of Evasion, hard target, get the armor bonus. I guess if you're running like Keen Eye or something, getting the armor boost from that, then it might be a good idea to run Time of Need if you really need the resists. But that's probably your best bet. Now, let's say you're doing well, you're surviving well, and you want to start moving into DPS. Well, first of all, I would recommend, which one is it? I'm looking for it. Here we go. I would recommend Intimidation if you want to find like a halfway point between damage dealing and survivability because it gives you both. This one, you know, it gives you the Mantra of Conviction bonus of 12% additional damage, and it also gives you enemies affected by deal 10% less damage. So it's like a halfway point. It does a little bit of both. And then once you're really ready to go into the big leagues for DPS, go for Overawe. That's what everybody uses pretty much. Once you can survive well, the amount of damage it gives you is ridiculous, especially if you can spam it. 48%, that's crazy. And that's the aura that I use, and that's the aura that a lot of good monks use. It's ridiculously overpowered, almost. The one other aura that people use is Backlash. Successfully dodging an attack has a chance to create a burst of flame. So if you have a lot of dodge, which a lot of monks do because we sort of rely on it a little bit, or we get a lot of it from our decks. Then you end up giving out or creating a lot of these AoE explosions that do a lot of damage. Now, I don't think it's very good compared to Mantra of Conviction. A lot of people disagree with me, and I'm going to show you why I think this. I'm going to just test this real fast. So, the reason that it looks really good is because it does a lot of weapon damage, and it shoots out this AoE explosion that hits everything around you, right? So it looks like it's good for dealing with groups. And it is. It is good for dealing with groups. And once a couple things start attacking me, you're going to see a lot of these red explosion things go out from around me. There we go. And deal damage to the enemies. Now, if there are a lot of things attacking you, yeah, it's going to do a lot of damage. And it does scale with the number of enemies attacking you, which is nice. But the problem is, a lot of the times when you need that huge amount of DPS, it's when you're fighting like an elite pack or something. And if 2 or 3 enemies are attacking you, Backlash isn't going to be giving you that much damage. Because only a couple things are attacking you, so you don't get that many of the explosions. But I guess if you're really having problems with groups, it could be a good choice. For me, I don't have problems with groups. My problem is with elites, single enemies, stuff like that. I want to kill them as fast as possible, and Conviction is going to do more for that than Backlash, in my opinion. I'm getting raped here. What's going on? My computer's too slow. I can't see what's going on. Oh well. That was really stupid. Alright. Well, so that's my discussion of mantras. You know, you want to choose one based on survivability or damage. Backlash might be good if you have problems with groups, but personally I think that overall does the most damage. It applies to everything you do, you know, because it's how much damage the enemies take. So it applies to, you know, your normal attacks, it applies to your sweeping winds, it applies to your cyclones, whereas Backlash is just based on weapon damage, so it just does its own thing, and it does scale with the number of enemies attacking you, but if there are a few enemies attacking you, it's not that great. So that's my short discussion of mantras. I hope it helped. See you guys later.